Hey, good morning, folks. Joe Mangiacotti here from Conservatively Speaking on AM 830 WCRN. Tune in every Saturday morning from 7 until 9 o'clock on AM 830 WCRN. And, of course, our sister station out in Springfield for those listeners at WACE AM 730. Of course, you can follow us on all social media at Your Right Talk, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and, of course, online at yourrighttalk.com. Big show coming up this morning, of course, at 7:30. We'll be joined by Paul Hunley from Lighthouse Capital, LLC. And Paul will continue to give us all things personal finance. And we're talking this week about responsible investing. And this is something that it's not a millennial thing. It is a young person or just generally people are getting more and more concerned about their responsible investing and avoiding certain investments that support things that they don't believe in or cause that they are for or against. So we'll talk a little bit about that. And at 8:30 on Out with Joe, the Music Minute with Tina Marie Billing. We'll check out what is hot and happening in the local music scene. She has the 411 and all the fun. We've got a lot more to talk about. First of all, I got to tell you, it's great that we have a judge who actually seems to know the Constitution, read the Constitution, understands the Bill of Rights, and has really put Mueller in his place. Mueller needs a wrist slapping. And the judge has come out and said, hey, you're just trying to get Trump, a.k.a. the President of the United States. This goes on to this ridiculous, enough is enough. A lot has been accomplished by this administration, and you wouldn't know it, according to the mainstream media. The reduction in regulations, the unemployment rates are dropped. Incredible news for blacks and Latinos, lowest in unemployment. Wages have gone up, despite the criticism that was hurled at the president, that there's no evidence of cutting taxes and reducing corporate tax burdens are going to increase wages. On this show, Conservatively Speaking, we have talked about over and over again, forget legislating the minimum wage. The way you increase the wages is to have a good economy, that you have competition, you make competition, and employers will pay higher wages to keep and get employees that they need. It will work. It does work. We've seen it work. Billions of dollars are coming back from foreign countries because they no longer have to pay the highest corporate tax rate in the world at 35%. It's now 21%, resulted in really, they had to, okay? You've got the Apple board. They don't have a choice. The board of directors are saying you cannot hold $3-4 billion in foreign countries when we can bring it back to America at only 21%. It is the thing to do. It's the logical, it is the fiduciary responsibility of this board to protect the shareholders and to make the right choices, despite what is going on. Just week after week, day after day, it is a witch hunt, and I know that has been used, that term has been used, but it is. I'm sorry. Getting back to what I was saying, now, could you imagine what this administration could have accomplished if they didn't have Mueller and his, the Salem witch hunt gang, in essence, on his back? So what they're trying to do is get him at any turn. And to do that, they are taking down anybody around him. Family, friends, business associates, they want to ruin everything. They want to make it so that if you are not one of us, if you are not on the right side of the aisle for us, if you do not follow our script, the elitist shadow government, whatever you want to call these people, this is what's going to happen to you. And they're going to make it so that next time a billionaire wakes up and says, honey, I'm the only guy that can probably fix things right now. They really need someone like me who's not a political hack, who is not tainted by the whole inside the belt type of thing going on here. That wife's going to say, what, are you crazy? Do you remember what they did to Donald Trump and his family? That's what they're trying to get at. That is what they're trying to get at. All right. Then, we have a president who left office, and unlike all other presidents before him, who dignifiedly, with dignity and quietly they went on their business to do good things, whether it was Jimmy Carter building homes for Habitat or George Bush simply being quiet with no criticism. Maybe we'll get some answers. Some answers from who are we going to get them from? Because we've been asking them for over 8 years. We're often 10, 12 years now, and we're not getting any answers. 8 years that B.O. lived in the White House. All right? He came from a union guy in Chicago. Okay? It'll be interesting to see what goes in his library. What happens when the library goes in, right? They put all these papers and so forth. Okay? This is what we do in this country. We actually take notice of the many facets of public figures, right? This is something that we do. Well, doesn't it seem odd that there's so little we know about Barack Obama? For example, we know that Andrew Jackson's wife smoked a corncob pipe, was accused of adultery. Abe Lincoln never went to school. Jack Kennedy wore a back brace. Harry Truman played the piano. Okay, we enjoy knowing details and news about our newsmakers, but none of us know a single humanizing fact about the history of our ex-president. Okay? Of course, we got the issue of the unbelievable lack of a birth record for Obama. Yeah, don't go crying birth there and everything, but I'm not here saying, oh my God, he's going to be everything he's done undone. I'm just saying the truth. That's all I want is the truth. All right. So he was born in Kenya. What now? What are you going to do with that? How about just the truth? Okay. So there's a problem there. Their other issue is there are no birth certificates of his daughters that can be found. Right? They've been looked for. And it's interesting that no one who ever dated him has shown up. The charisma that caused women to be drawn to him so strongly during the campaign certainly would be the normal course of events led by, some lady to come forward, if only to garner some attention for herself. We all know that JFK's magnetism and McCain was no monk, and quite a few details about Palin's courtship and even her athletic prowess. But Joe Biden's aneurysms are no secret. Look at Cheney and Clinton. We all know about their heart problems, right? Certainly Wild Bill Clinton's exploits before and during the White House years were well known. That's why it's so odd that not one lady has stepped up and said he was so shy. He was a great dancer. Nothing. It's virtually impossible to know anything about this fellow. Hey, who was his best man at the wedding? Let's start there. Then let's check the groomsmen. Then get the footage of the graduation ceremony. Has anyone talked to any of his professors? Is it odd that no one is bragging that they knew him or taught him or lived with him? And when did he meet Michelle and how? Are there photos there? Every president gives the public all their photos for their public library. What has he released? And who voted for him to be the most popular man in 2010? Doesn't this make you wonder? And don't even get started on the Nobel Peace Prize. They've even admitted that they just thought it was a good idea to help out this first black president. Now we have a president who looks like the Korean War will actually officially end under his administration, and that he will sit down with the mental midget in North Korea. And Kim Jong-un, all he's saying is, hey, end the Korean War, and America promises they won't attack us. I'm all in. Where's the downside to that? Think about it. If we end the Korean War and sanctions are lifted, and we've already got the North and South presidents talking, first time that the president of North Korea set foot in South Korea since 1953. That means trade can open up. And that means things will change. When the Soviet Union fell and the Cold War ended, the exposure to the Western civilization, Western culture, Levi jeans, pop music, fast food, believe it or not, had as much to do with the fall of the Soviet Union and the wall as did Reagan being unpredictable, and that had a lot to do with the Soviet Union. They had no idea what this man would do, except that they knew he would do anything that he thought was right for the country. It has as much to do with the fact that they couldn't even put gas in their tanks. All right? We basically outspend them, and they even believed that Star Wars actually existed. So all of these things contributed to it. So you don't think that if we end the Korean War, we get these two presidents talking, our president intervenes and joins the conversation, and I'm all for it. Hey, promise them, you denuclearize the Korean Peninsula, we promise we won't attack you. We won't have to, because you're going to so busy actually feeding your people. So we've already heard it, not in a funny way, we've heard it mentioned, Trump Nobel Peace Prize. He's already done 10 times more for the Nobel Peace Prize than Obama did. And if you just hate the man so much, and you know what, and you can't agree to that, and you can't see it, you are just intellectually dishonest, and you are just so partisan that you really can't have the debate. You just can't. Okay, you can't argue with faith, and this is it. You people, it's cultish. It's absolute faith. Like, you can't argue with people because you have no concept of reality. Not your reality, and reality is perspective and all that. No, it's facts. It is what it is. And it's pissing the left off that other countries, leaders and the people of other countries are really coming around to Donald Trump and realizing how good he is, just not for America, but is good for the world. Because a strong America is a good thing. A strong America is good for the earth, is good for this globe. And you need to know that. We have